Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Fan Vote 2020 winner, Silk. Now she was chosen by fans ahead of Lady Sif and Elektra. A quick look at the box. At the front you see the Fan Vote 2020 name. On the top of the box you see the Marvel logo. On the bottom, some product information. And down the side, artwork of a couple of Marvel Universe characters. Moving on to the back, no character-specific descriptions. Instead, we see a whole bunch of Marvel Universe characters. And this is obviously cobbled together from the work of various artists because of the varying styles between all the ways that the characters are illustrated over here. Moving on to the other side, the rest of the same poster art. So let's go ahead and get her open. So out of the packaging, you see the figure and her accessories held on a plastic tray, as well as the same generic Marvel Universe artwork in the backdrop of the insert. For accessories, she comes with 2 gripping hands, 2 fists, an alternate masked head, as well as a web shooting right hand. For the alternate head, she's given a pretty head sculpt, and sharply applied applications for her eyebrows, as well as her eyes. As you can see, very sharply applied plain applications for her eyeliner as well as her eyelashes. She's got a sculpted on mask, with some creases to show the realism. The mask is painted red, but as you can see over here, the paint doesn't go all the way to the edge of the sculpted mask. Her hair is sculpted in black plastic, with a bluish grey wash, just to bring out the texture in them. Very beautiful sculpt, showing it flowing in the wind. As well as down the back, really looks like soft, silky hair. The gripping hands have their fingertips painted in red, and they have wrist articulation in, as well as out. The same goes with the 2 fists. The fingertips are also painted red. The fists articulate in, as well as out. And finally, we see an interesting accessory. This is the web shooting right hand, with her right finger splayed out. This entire thing is casted in a white plastic, with the black and the red of the hand painted on. You can see the web originating from her hands as a mass, and then forming out to show the web patterns as it shoots out. Looking on the inside, the mass of web coming from her hand actually looks like some messy whipped cream. And interestingly enough, Hasbro also sculpted the end of her thumb on the other side. It's also painted in red, so it really looks like her right hand is just surrounded by a mass of web material. So the alternate head sculpt pops on just fine together with her gripping hands, as well as her interchangeable fists. And finally, her very cool web shooting right hand, and it's also noteworthy that all these hands are provided as new accessories, not with the previous release of Silk. A closer look at the sculpt of the figure. Her head sculpt is just as beautiful as the alternate head sculpt. We see very good and sharp applications of paint for her eyes and eyebrows, as well as her lipstick. This is exactly the same sculpt as the previous Silk action figure, so it's a similarly pretty head sculpt. The hair is unchanged as well, with the same bluish grey wash and the flowing textures. The wash seems to be applied a little thicker on this hairpiece, so it feels a little rougher compared to the other one. Moving down to her neck, she's got her mask hanging off, and this mask also has creases to show the fabric textures. On her torso, sharp applications of the white, red and black paint to show off her distinct outfit design. It's great that they managed to connect the white pattern on her shoulders to the main outfit design on the body. So essentially the striking applications of paint with white standing out against the black plastic of her body, as well as the very sharp and clean edges of where the paint is applied. This really brings out the distinct and eye-catching design of her outfit. On her hands, you see her fingertips are also painted in red. Likewise down her thighs, very cleanly and sharply applied white paint, again bringing the unique design elements all the way down to her thighs, and also nicely accentuates her slim female silhouette down her legs. I've got a bit of paint scuffing on her thigh over here, and that's probably from when I articulate the figure and it rubs against the hips, so just gotta watch out for that. A quick look down the back of the figure. The same white elements moving around her shoulder to the back, but one seems to be applied higher than the other. Likewise for the same white design elements on her thighs, it's also higher on her left side. But since this is the back of the figure, I can overlook that these design elements are actually not really balanced. And onto her feet, she's got her toe caps painted in white. I'll do a quick side-by-side with the previous Silk action figure. I actually sold that one off a couple of days ago, so I'm using the picture of the actual action figure that I had from my online sale listing. The big difference now is that she has white on her outfit, so that is way more striking to the eye and really brings out all the design elements of her outfit. Definitely more visually appealing with the design elements going down her legs as well, so I really appreciate that. Essentially all the grey on the previous action figure is switched out for the whites, plus a bigger and bolder design element of her outfit. She now comes with extra sets of interchangeable hands as well, and I like that very much because it helps make the figure more expressive in posing and play. For articulation, it hits on the ball and a hinge, so it goes 360, as well as some tilt right and left. She can look down quite a fair bit, and up just a little bit, and that's hindered by her hair. Swivel hinge at the shoulders for 360, as well as out. Swivel just above her elbow for 360, as well as a single elbow bend just at 90 degrees. Swivel at the wrist, articulating outwards and inwards. Ball joint at the middle of the torso, so she goes 360. Some decent sideways tilt as well, and decent forward as well as backwards bend. Ball jointed hips, so they go front and back that much. A little bit of the sideways split. Thigh swivel that goes 360. Double jointed knees with very good range. Ankle tilt down as well as up. And ankle pivot sideways outwards as well as inwards. One thing I noticed about the hip ball joints on recent Marvel Legends is that they have become tighter, so this is her default position when packaged in the box. So the tightness of the ball joints means that moving the legs slightly actually makes it go back to its default box position. It's not so much of a big deal if you move it much further out. So that's something to look out for as you take the figure out of the box. You might want to heat the ball joints to wear them in a little bit. So with the Marvel Legends standard female body articulation, you should be able to get Silk into many different poses, especially with the interchangeable hands adding much degree of expression and playability. I still hope for Hasbro to work on giving female action figures calf swivel, so that will improve the articulation to the next level. Size-wise, Silk stands at 6¼ inches or about 16 centimeters. Some size comparisons with Spider-Man and Mary Jane, a couple of Spider-Verse action figures, Marvel Legends 80 Years Classic Iron Man and the Mezco Stealth Iron Man, and some G.I. Joe Classified Series action figures. Overall, I'm glad that I bought this new version of Silk. The switching of the color palette from grey on the previous figure to the white on this new one definitely makes the design elements on the outfit stand out. Furthermore, the design elements are now extended to her thighs, and this is very visually appealing. While the figure still doesn't have calf swivels, it still retains the beautiful head sculpts, with the much needed added bonus swappable hands that make the figure really shine when you pose and play with it. The web shooting hand is the icing on the cake in terms of the accessories. If you have the previous version of Silk and only need just one figure of her, I'll say you can consider selling off the old one, just like me. It's still in demand and should be relatively easy to sell off. Please like and share this video, let me know in the comments if you think this new Silk is worth picking up, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.